Welcome Year 9 to your new topic on financial maths. We are starting a new topic. Woohoo! And what better way to celebrate than with a cat dressed up as a taco? That's amazing. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to begin by looking at percentages. Now, in a previous lesson, you'll probably remember I taught you how to convert between percentage decimals and fractions. You might want to have a look over that as a reminder if you're unsure. Today, we're going to look at percentages. Okay, today we're going to look at percentages and different things that we can do with them. Now, as you've probably learnt, to change a decimal or a fraction into a percentage, you multiply it by 100. To change a percentage into a fraction or a decimal, you divide it. So, to change it into a percentage, you multiply. To change it out of a percentage into either a fraction or a decimal, you divide. Multiply into, divide out of. Multiply into, divide out of. Let's have a look. So, I've got 0.45 and I want to go into a percentage. So all I have to do, ooh, fat pen. No, don't want fat pen. So then I go 0.45 multiplied by 100. Super easy, fun times. That would be 45%. Not an idiot, have been doing this since year 7. It's pretty straightforward. So 0.45 is it a decimal. How do I get it into percentage? Multiplied by 100. You should be able to do that by simply looking, because all you're doing is moving the decimal point 1 to 45%. Okay, so that's going into a percentage. I multiply. Coming back out, I divide. So if I've got this question here, I move my decimal place 1, 2. So 25%, I go the other way. It becomes 0.25. I divide to get out, I multiply to get in. Ha! Look at this guy. What am I going to do here? 3 1/4 as a fraction. 3 1/4 is known as a mixed numeral. Before I can do anything with a mixed numeral, what do I need to do? I need to change it into an improper fraction. So 3 1/4 mixed numeral, not doing anything for me. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. Plus 1 makes it 13/4. 13/4 is my improper fraction. Okay, 13/4. 13/4. Now I have to divide it by 100%. Okay, so I divide it by 100%. I write 100% as a fraction as 100/1. That's how I write it, guys. Now, remember, let's go back. What? Mr. Corsi already told you how to do this in a previous lesson. Isn't she amazing? When I am dividing two fractions, what do? Flip these bad boys around. So it becomes 13/4 multiplied by 1 on 100. If this step is confusing you, go back to the tutorials on addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of fractions. You need to review that. Okay, so 13 multiplied by 1, 13. 4 multiplied by 100, 400. Okay, that is my answer. That is my answer of 3 1/4% as a fraction. It's 13/400. Last thing I need to do. Need to see if there is a common factor between those two guys. There is not. 13 is a prime number, so there is no common factor, therefore I cannot simplify that number, so that's my answer. 0.45, super easy, fun times. 25% into a decimal, not too hard. This is the bit where it becomes a bit hard, but hey, it's not too bad, because I already know if I have a mixed numeral, I must convert it into an improper fraction. Okay, that's converting. It wasn't really hard. It should hopefully be a bit of a reminder for a few of you from a lesson previous. This is where I'm going to slow down a bit. Okay, let's look at this problem first. I'm going to put these little guys up here. We're going to look at 50 cents. Write 50 cents out of $2.50 as a percentage. Oh, what? How do I do that? Okay. What do I know? I know I got $2.50 here, and I know I got 50 cents. Okay? 50 cents out of $2.50. So it's kind of like a portion. Okay, so I'm saying I have a little bit. I don't have all the $2.50. I have a little bit. How could I write that? Oh, I could write that as a fraction. So 50 cents on $2.50. Oh, no, that looks weird. I probably can't write it in a fraction if one is in cents and the other one is in dollars. So if that's already in cents, fractions with decimals look weird. Why don't I instead write it like this? Why don't I convert $2.50 into cents? So 50 cents, and now $2.50 in cents will be 250 cents. Okay, cool. I need to write that as percentage. So I've got it as a fraction, 50 cents of $2.50. And now what was my rule? When I want to go into a percent, yeah, multiply, of course, because I have 50 cents out of $2.50 and I need to multiply it by 100 so I can get it into a percent. And if I do that, I can simplify as I go. So I'll do this in another color. 50 goes into 50 once. 50 goes into 255 times. Cool. So 1/5 multiplied by 100. Beautiful. 20. And I'll just need to put my percentage sign in on the end. So my answer becomes 20%. 50 cents out of 250. Firstly, I know I have a portion, so I need to write it as a fraction. Okay? Now, I can't write 50 cents over 2.5 because it's not right. I need to convert them into the same units. So I convert it into 250. I multiply by 100 to get into a percentage, and I get my answer of 20%. Cool. So let's delete that example and look at the next example. This is taking a while. Oh, I've deleted everything. Whoops. Never mind. We didn't need that example anyway. Cool. Let's find 15% of $35. Okay, so now I'm kind of doing the same thing. It kind of sounds like I'm doing the same thing, doesn't it? But now I've got a quantity. So now I'm saying find 15% of a quantity. Okay, so I'm not saying I've already got like $2 out of 35. Now I'm saying I've got a certain percentage of that 35. So I've got 15%. How could I do it this time? 15%. How else can I write 15%? Well, I could write it like this. 0.15 times 35. Cool. That's one way to do it. And I could do it like that. That's an awesome way. What other way could I do it? I could also write it 15 over 100 multiplied by 35. Yeah, that's a cool way. I could do that. Cool. Excellent. They're the two ways I can get that answer. Anyway, if I type it into my calculator, long story short, I'm going to come up with an answer of $5.25. Okay, so either 0.15 multiplied by 35 or 15 over 100 multiplied by 35. Cool. Okay, that's how I do it. So I'm saying 15%. It's either 0.15 or 15 over 100. Two ways I can write it. Delete. Okay, let's have a look at another example. My final one when I'm looking at percentages. So, Kelly. Good on you, Kelly. What have you done? She's got shoes at 25% off. If they cost $40, how much were they originally? Oh. Okay. That's a bit weird. So she got them at 25% off. If they cost $40 when she got them at 25% off, how much were they originally before they were marked down? Cool. No idea. But let's see what I know. Look, I know 25%. She got them at 25% off. So if they were originally 100% of their value and you minus 25%, they would have been 75% of their original value. So 75% of their original value was $40. Okay, so I got that by saying, okay, if she got them at 25% off, they would have been 75%. Okay, 75%. Cool. That's still kind of not helpful. 75% equals $40. Okay, this is how I do it. Okay, this is the way I love to do it. If 75% was $40, I need to find out what 1% is. And if I divide 40 by 75, I get a tiny number that's 0.53 53 reoccurring. I don't delete that from my calculator. Okay, so I plug that into my calculator. I'm not deleting it for the time being. That's 1%. Okay, so 75% was $40. So I took 40 and I divided it by 75. Okay, and that got me that guy there. That got me 1%. So 75% was $40. 1% was 53 cents. Now I can times it by 100. So to get 100%, okay, I take that number there and multiply by 100. So if I take that number there that I haven't deleted from my calculator, multiply by 100, it'd get me $53.33 reoccurring. How can I check that's right? Well, she got 25% off. At about 75%, they should be 40. So I know my answer is going to be 40. It's not going to be double 40. So it's not going to be $80 because that's way too much. Okay, because if it was $80, it means that she would have got them at 50% off. Okay, but 100%, 53, 40, yeah, that's looking kind of right. That's how I do it. If it was 75% of its value was $40, I take it back down to 1, I multiply it by 100. Simple as that, guys.